Yo, what is going on YouTube? This is your boy Dan, aka aDrive. I'm bringing you guys week 10 of the GBA. St. Louis Rampardos taking on 8-1 Atlanta Hawluchas and Fizzy Stardust, guys. He is the best team in the league so far by a record, and I believe differential as well. So do me a favor, go check out his channel in the description below. Awesome guy. We had a lot of fun playing up to this match here and messing around. He's gonna definitely trash talk me on his channel, but it's all in good fun, I think. So anyway, we're gonna jump into this match. It should be incredibly epic, man. It's got such a scary team. You guys can check out the team builder on the annotation or in the description below. Don't forget to show your love on that like button for your St. Louis Rampardos, of course. And shirts are available in the description as well if you want to pick up a St. Louis Rampardos t-shirt. Last but not least, our question of the day today is, who do you think in the draft format, so GBA UCL type format, who do you think would be the best possible teammate for Victini that's in the format, right? So do you think it would be, you know, I don't know, whatever you think it would be that would work so perfectly with Victini that'd be so challenging for people to take down? I have some ideas in my head, but I want to hear your ideas because who knows what'll happen with Victini, but maybe it'll make it to the Rampardos next season. We'll see. So anyway, I'm going to connect with Fizz here, and we're going to jump right in the battle, and we will see what happens. Alright guys, so me and Fizz are connected. We're gonna jump right into this matchup here and find out what team he brought. You can see what I'm predicting on the screen, but his team is so deep. He just has so many good Pokemon. He could bring really any one of the Pokemon on his roster, and I could see it being effective against our team or really any team. So there's a lot of potential here. I really do think that T-Tar's coming though. I think the Garchomp's coming. I could really see the Togekiss. I could see the Stoutland. The Char and the Starmie, he might not bring either of those, but there's a good chance he brings the Char because of Aggron. But we're gonna find out right now, and looks like I predict a good amount of it. He does not bring the Heliolisk. I'm sorry, he does not bring the Stoutland. He brings Heliolisk instead. So it could be a solar power Heliolisk, so something we got to keep in mind because that thing could hit pretty hard from the special side. Doesn't bring the Togekiss either. Instead, he brings Weezing as a physically defensive response, potentially trying to burn our Aggron or something like that, which doesn't bother me as much. I think I do have some answers for Weezing, obviously with Sylveon and stuff like that. So potential leads on his end. I can see him leading with the Heliolisk. I'd see the Garchomp potential lead. Let me just run a quick calc here on Sylveon versus. I have a minute left. Okay, so Sylveon versus his Weezing here. He could be like specially defensive, but I do just want to see like standard Weezing against us. Each hidden power or hyper voice actually 2Ks. My plan here was to lead with Bella, our Sylveon. Although getting up rocks would be really nice. But I guess he could just spin them away. You know what? Let's lead with Bella and let's stick with the original plan of clicking hyper voice and trying to kill something to start the match here. I do think that is my best bet. So let's jump right into it here, man. He's got his T-Tar, so Starmie, Garchomp, Weezing, Charizard, Tyranitar, and Heliolisk. So a little bit surprised that no Togekiss, but big important mons for me. Aggron's very important as it stops the T-Tar and the Garchomp. Jolteon is very important as it can beat the Starmie, the Charizard, and it can hit other things pretty hard. Victini could be pretty useful as well, but not as useful as I initially thought. So anyway, let's do with Bella here, see who he's going to lead with. He is going to lead with Nuh, which is his T-Tar. Perfect start for me, because I could fire off a big hit here, and he obviously is sand, so we got to count the sand turns here. But hyper voice will knock him out, and if he's offensive, yeah, hyper voice knocks him out if he's offensive, and I could live any hit from him unless he's like adamant banned, and I'm faster. So I'm going for the hyper voice to just start things off here, and if he has the Roselli Berry, then he has the Roselli Berry, but we'll see what happens here. I just want to get a huge hit off here, because I can even 2KO the Charizard, so I think this is the right play. Just to click Hyper Voice and just see how much damage I can do. Because unless he's AV Weezing, he's not coming in. So, because I can hit Weezing twice. Now I can take a Sludge Bomb anyway. Not to mention I get a free switch into Aggron with Weezing. Or Uxie too, because Uxie can come in and just set up rocks. So then I can U-turn out. So a lot of opportunities. Weezing actually could end up being a bit of a blessing in disguise. Unfortunately, it kind of stops Victini decently well. Like, physically defensive Weezing versus Victini. Now V-Crate still does nuts with a ban. With an E-Belt, it's 2 KO from Victini. So Weezing does not want to take a V-Crate either. But my play was just Hyper Voice here. So he's really debating this play. He could think I'm defensive too. That's the thing about Sylveon that's really nice, is yeah, I brought like offensive Sylveon a bunch of times, but he's gonna switch here. So he's gonna probably either switch into Charizard or the Weezing. So he's gonna go into Dylan, which is the Charizard. So had I HP Rock, that would've been awesome. But we're gonna go for the Hyper Voice here, see how much it does. And that's looking like a 2-hit KO. That is easily a 2-hit KO. And the sand is up. So I get to click Hyper Voice again. And actually, you know what I'm thinking here? I'm thinking this Charizard might have Iron Tail. I'm thinking this Charizard has Iron Tail, guys. How much does Iron Tail do? If he's not timid, if he's, let's say he's mixed. Let's say he's hasty, for example. It's not gonna be adamant, but the reason why I'm thinking he's mixed is because that did a lot more than I anticipated. Standard, oh, you know what? It's because he wasn't Mega, that's why. It's because he wasn't Mega. Let me just double check that calc. Yeah, that was definitely a higher roll. Maybe he doesn't have it, but even if he's physically offensive with Iron Tail, I don't think Iron Tail is gonna kill me from this range. So I think my play is to Hyper Voice again. If he roosts here, I actually probably can knock him out with the Sandstorm. Actually, with a roost, I just keep clicking Hyper Voice here, as I'm doing close to enough to knock him out. So we'll see what he's gonna do here. But Charizard is severely weakened. He is gonna Mega Evolve and stay in. He might just go for the roost. Now there's a potential 2-hit KO with the Hyper Voice, so depending on what he goes for here, we may or may not be able to knock him out. He may just go for the roost here. He could just fire off a big Fire Blast and try to dent this Sylveon, knowing how big of a threat it is. He's gonna go for the roost. So at least we see roost on his Charizard. And it's gonna be interesting to see whether he's gonna be able to stall out these Hyper Voices or not, because that brings him up to just above almost full. Yeah, we're gonna put the pressure on him. Not enough to knock him out, but I'm gonna click Hyper Voice again. Force him to roost again, because we could get a big damage roll, we could get a crit. It looks really, really close that it's a 2-hit KO. And he clearly doesn't have any switch-ins to our Bella. And if I can stall out the Sun turns, that could help us against Heliolisk as well. So now that I know he's Roost, he's probably Roost, Fire Blast, probably Solar Beam as well. So my play is just to stay in here and just keep firing off Hyper Voices. I don't want to take a big hit on Sylveon because it's clearly such a good wall breaker against his team. But I think being able to wear this thing down and just continuously hit him, like regular Fire Blast is actually potential to a KO, like I said. A regular Hyper Voice. Yeah, it's 42 to 50, so he probably knows that. So he might just keep roosting. But I'll be stalling out the Sun turns. So I think that was one turn of Sun, right? One full turn, so this is turn 2, if I'm not mistaken. Want to keep an eye on the Sun turns. But this has been an easy start for me. I just click Hyper Voice right now. How much does his Fire Blast is 80% actually, so he could do a lot to me. If he's modest, he could even knock us out, but he's probably timid. He's gonna roost again, so that should be 2 turns, I believe, of Sun, if I'm not mistaken. That puts him close to full. It's close. He's definitely in a situation where he's getting close to being able to potentially live 2, but I don't know if this is a winning battle for him. Let me go look at Cerebi, Roost. Let me go look at Roost. How much PP you get for Roost? I think it's 16, but you get 10. So I think with that you end up with 16, but I think we'll have the same amount of Hyper Voices as Roosts. Let me go look. Roost. 16, yeah, so you do get 16 Roosts, so I've seen him use 2. Roosted, yeah. So he's gonna roost again, so that's his 3rd roost, and we're just stalling out the Sun now, which is nice. He's just gonna keep roosting. I mean, eventually I can make the swap into Victini and then go for a Bolt Strike or something, if I want to, but this isn't a losing battle for me. I'm still doing enough to potentially knock him out. He's getting a little bit of health back, but it's still about 50% with this Hyper Voice. So I'm gonna keep clicking Hyper Voice. That's my play. That's my play, because he doesn't have a switch in. And eventually I'll crit him, you know? Or he's gonna have to switch out. Or I'll make the swap and I'll just predict it. But once the Sun's gone, he becomes way less of a threat, because then he can't Solar Beam me. Then I get to go into Blastoise, or I get to go into Jolteon too. I mean, I can go into Jolteon now and Volt Switch, but or Toxic, a potential switch in. But I really like this play here. I don't want to overpredict at the beginning of the match. I don't want to take any chances. I just feel like the play is just click Hyper Voice until something changes here. Whether he stalls out all his roosts, whether he decides to switch out and try to fodder something off, whether I get a crit, whether he decides to Fire Blast me. You know, once the sun's gone though, he becomes less of a threat while he's in front of me. So, because then he can't Solar Beam me. But very, very interesting. We've definitely put him on his heels here with the Sylveon off the bat. And the Sylveon has a lot of viability, especially against, you know, I could switch it in against that Tyranitar later on a U-turn or a Volt Switch. So a lot of opportunities there. He's really thinking about his turns. He's really debating on these moves here. I mean, my play is very simple. My play is Hyper Voice. I'm not keeping any secrets here. He might be waiting for me to switch. He might be thinking I'm gonna like double at some point, or not double, but you know, hard switch out. Here comes the Fire Blast. It is in the sun. This is gonna do a lot to me, but not enough to knock me out. And the Hyper Voice will knock out the Charizard here, assuming we get a decent roll, and we do. So we get rid of one huge threat. So Sylveon kills Charizard Y with Hyper Voice, and while Sylveon is definitely very low right now, still could put in some work. So here comes the Heliolisk. He's probably Solar Power Heliolisk. Do I keep this thing? Do I keep my Sylveon? That is the question. Because right now, he could go for like a T-Bolt, he could go for a Surf, he could go for a lot of different things. He is in the sun, so he could go for an electric move that'll get boosted. I can't go into Blastoise. I could go into Jolteon. He can't really Surf me right now. He could Hyper Voice me, which could do a lot. So if I went into Aggron, that would probably be the best case scenario. Do I think it's worth saving Sylveon at this range because of the T-Tar and the fact that he doesn't really have a good switch into this thing? I do. And now that Charizard's gone, I can make a little bit more of a chance and go into Tesla here. He might just Volt Switch, but I'm going to save it. I'm going to go into Tesla. This might not be my best play, but because he's probably going to predict it and go for something else. He might go for like a Hyper Voice here, but I'm pretty sure I can probably live one. He is going to make the prediction, go for the Hyper Voice. That was the right play. Could have went Aggron, but I do live the hit, and he is Life Orb, so I will outspeed him. And the Sunlight fades here. So I see Life Orb, and I saw Hyper Voice, and now I'm actually faster than him, which means I can go for the Toxic here and wear this thing down. I could also go for like a Volt Switch and just switch out and go into Aggron. I really like Jolteon this match, but because it stops him from Volt Switching. But I do think my play here, like I could Volt Switch out here, but then if he goes into Garchomp, like if I Volt Switch out, what do I go into? I'm not gonna go to Aggron because he could potentially Surf or Focus Blast. I gotta get Aggron in for free, so I might actually sacrifice Tesla here. I'm gonna go for the Toxic, predicting a switch, but this is kind of a sacrifice of Tesla. I actually hit the Toxic. I'm kind of sacking Tesla here. Might not be my best decision, but it's gonna wear this thing down and put a timer on this thing. He's gonna go for the Hyper Voice again, and then I'll give him more Life Orb damage, but he'll take us out. So Heliolisk kills Jolteon with Hyper Voice, and I definitely didn't want to go down there, but I didn't want to Volt Switch either and have something else take the Hyper Voice. So let me look at Mega Aggron versus Heliolisk, like Life Orb Heliolisk, and just kind of double check and see roughly what that Focus Blast does. Yeah, I mean, T-Bolt's gonna do like 50%, so that's gonna do a good amount. Uxie can come in, Victini can come in here. It doesn't want to take a Surf though. Uxie can come in. I think Blastoise is a great play here because he's just gonna Volt Switch out, I think. Is he gonna predict my Mirror Coat though? Like, is that too obvious? So I go into Shell Shocked right now. The other idea would go to Cerebro. Megatron come in here and knock this thing out. He'd probably Volt Switch if I went to Megatron. I'm gonna go into Shell Shocked here because his Charizard's gone, and I don't think he's Dry Skin. And I'm gonna take the chance here, and I'm gonna go for the Mirror Coat. I'm gonna reveal the Mirror Coat right off the bat here. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take some time to think about this move. My decision is Mirror Coat. I'm gonna click Mirror Coat, but I'm gonna let the timer go down for, 15, 20 seconds here and make him wait. I'm gonna make him wait on this one. I wanna make him think about this play. Because his play is to Volt Switch a million times over, and if he Volt Switches, I might actually be able to knock something out on the switch in. And his switch in is probably Starmie. So we might actually be able to catch the Mirror Coat, but let's wait another like 10, 15 seconds here before I click Mirror Coat. and we're gonna hopefully catch him off guard here. The other option is he hard switches into something like Starmie, but then he has the same issue. So now I'm gonna click that Mirror Coat, and we're gonna see what he's gonna do here. He's gonna go over the Volt Switch, so we're gonna see how much this does. It's gonna do about 81 HP, so that's 160 HP that's gonna fire back at something. And he might know that. That actually could potentially knock out Starmie depending on his investment, and it would knock out the Weezing as well. So we saw Hyper Voice and Volt Switch on his Heliolisk. Volt Switch, and he's taking Life Orb and Tox damage and stuff like that. So we could potentially knock something out here. If it's the Weezing or the Starmie, either one could be knocked out depending on their defense investment. Obviously, the Starmie can recover against us, which is definitely a bit of a bummer. But if Starmie comes out, I think my play is to probably go into Uxie, or I could stay in and Scald it, try to burn it, or Mirror Coat it again. I mean, I'm just hoping he's not fully HP invested on his Starmie, so we can knock it out. But he probably knows the Mirror Coat is coming at this point, but he's got to send something in. T-Tar is not the answer. Garchomp probably not the answer. I'm trying to figure out opportunities to get Sylveon back in so I can click Hyper Voice again. Basically, I gotta get it in against that Weezing and have the Weezing be a little bit lower health. And then I can click Hyper Voice again. Because then something dies, you know what I mean? Even if it's the Weezing. And he doesn't have, like, hazards on the field yet either, so he's gonna have to think about this one. This Mirror Coat's gonna hurt something, man. Like I said, it did about 81 health, so it's gonna do 162 damage, so it would knock out the potential Starmie. I think it could do some work here. Like Starmie, he's gonna go into Uncle Allen. So who's this? This is the Starmie. So we're gonna find out just now. I might need Stealth Rocks for this to kill, but I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed here that this is gonna do just enough. And he lives with 1 HP. And what is he? Citrus? No, he's leftovers. So he lives barely on leftovers there. So a bit unfortunate, but I see the leftovers on the Starmie. And I'm thinking he's probably going to go for the Recover here. That is what I'm leaning towards. I'm thinking the Recover is his play, which means my play is probably to go into Cerebro. Potentially set up Stealth Rocks, force a Rapid Spin. That's the play I'm going to make. I'm going to go into Cerebro here because I could Scald, but I think the Recover is just too obvious. So he does have HP investment, so he's definitely HP invested, so he does have Recover as well. So we make that play correctly. Now I have an opportunity here to U-turn out. I don't know how much it's going to do to his Starmie, probably not much, because I'm actually negative. But I could actually just U-turn here, which I think is the right play, is just to go for the U-turn. It'll be a slow U-turn, which means I get the momentum if he goes into T-Tar. So I'm going to go for that slow U-turn right now and try to catch something off guard here. He could go into his Garchomp, he could go into his Weezing as well, both of which are very possible options. But Weezing doesn't want to go against Victini either, because I could have a Psychic-type move. So that's when the V-Create comes in, or the Brick Break. We're going to have to make a prediction at some point. That's what's going to happen. We're going to have to make a big prediction. But I'm going to go for the U-turn. I don't want to get my Rocks up, because he does have a Spinner, and Rocks don't really affect the rest of his team too much. It'd be nice to wear down the Heliolisk, but he's going to switch, so we're going to get the initiative here with the U-turn. Probably into, what, T-Tar? Blizz, is that his Weezing? That's the Weezing. So Shiny Weezing looks awesome, by the way. We're going to get this U-turn off on the Weezing. And based on the 0 damage we just basically did, we're gonna make a tough decision here. What is my play? So Bella versus Weezing. I definitely outspeed. Psyshock doesn't kill. Hyper Voice actually does about the same. AGron can come in here, but there's not much I can do back to him. I mean, I can Iron Tail, I can Dragon Tail, or Iron Head, I can Dragon Tail. Victini can really hit him hard here. Potential Victini. He might, if I go into, actually I think Victini is the right play. I'm not even gonna think about it. We're going to Victini. He could have Dark Pulse, but I'll live it. Victini is the play. I shouldn't have waited. I should have just went into it. So he's got Black Sludge as well. Okay. So he could be fearing a potential, whatchamacallit. He could be fearing a potential V-Create here, or a different kind of move. If I V-Create twice though, Like, does Starmie take a V-Create at that range? I don't think so. I think I could V-Create twice. Yeah, Starmie's really close to being able to take that. I think if I V-Create twice here, it's a 2-hit KO on the Weezing. And he might expect the Psychic here. That's if he's physically defensive Weezing, because he might not be fully physically defensive. How much does his Dark Pulse do? Dark Pulse is like 40%, so well, I'll be -1 though. This is like 60%, so it does a lot. But I think V-Create is the right play here. Or the other play would be Glaciate, but I think V-Create is the proper play because it's 2-hit KO. I'm gonna go for the V-Create. I'm just gonna click it. He's gonna stay in here. We're gonna hit this thing incredibly hard. It's probably not gonna, it's gonna do like 50 to 60%, but it's gonna do a lot. And it does about what I expected. So he's gonna be able to hit us here with whatever he goes for. Potential is Pain Split. There's the Pain Split, so I'm not surprised. So he shows the Pain Split on the Weezing. I almost predicted that and went into Sylveon. I knew the Pain Split was a potential move there, but it was a little risky. Now I have a tough decision to make here because I could V-Create again or I could switch. The problem is if I go into Aggron, Aggron doesn't really match up that well against Weezing. But I think I have to go into Aggron here because he's just a little too high. I can Dragon Tail him, at least at that point. Is it time to bring in Megatron? It'd be nice to get those rocks up. I can't, he's gonna Pain Split again, so I definitely have to switch here. I can go into Shell Shocked, which is AV Shell Shocked. But that could be useful later. Would be nice to get a Scald off. I think the play is to go into Megatron here, because I think he's gonna either Dark Pulse or Sludge Bomb or something like that. And if he Will-O-Wisp, that's fine. He makes a great play. I have Rest on Aggron, so I'm less worried about it. And I can Dragon Tail him out. Even if he were to burn us, I can rest it off. And I have Heal Bell and stuff. So he's got Pain Split. Obviously, he's got Black Sludge. So I had a feeling the Pain Split was coming, but had to make the right play. So we're going to go to Megatron here and see what he's going to do. He might predict that and go for Will-O-Wisp. He might just go for a Dark Pulse. He's going to go for the T-Spikes. That is something I did not expect. I did not expect the T-Spikes, in all honesty. But, good play on his part. Had I double V-created there, we might have been in better shape, but that's okay. I'm going to go for the Dragon Tail here, potentially Dragon Tail him out into something. Or I could predict the Willow and switch out. That doesn't really make much sense. Sylveon's definitely on a timer now because of the T-Spikes, even more so than before. I could potentially try to Rapid Spin them away with Blastoise right now, but that's a bit tough too. Especially since I'm coming in, I'm gonna get poisoned. I'm gonna get the Mega Evolve off, and I'm gonna go for the Dragon Tail here. He might burn us. In fact, he probably is gonna Will-O-Wisp here and burn us. But that's okay. He's going over the Will-O-Wisp. He's gonna hit it. So I see Willow, and Sludge Bomb is probably his final move. I do wish I had Rocks up, but that's okay. We're gonna go for the Dragon Tail here. We actually do hit it, which is nice. So we're gonna get some chip damage off on this thing. Bring him down to about, you know, he's at 85%, let's say. And in comes Starmie. Definitely a bit of a bummer that Starmie is what comes in, of course. But, that's okay. It's okay. The problem is I can't really do much to Starmie, and he can probably hurt us. How does Aggron hold up against Starmie? I don't know. Let's see here. Starmie. And I'm burned though, so that's, I mean, that's the other thing. I can't really do anything to him aside from Dragon Tail him out. I'm gonna do just that. I think I'm gonna just go for the Dragon Tail. Because his Scald, he can't burn me any further, so I'm gonna go for the Dragon Tail. He's gonna go for the Scald here. I know he can't burn me. I got a 155 to 109, so he's definitely not offensive. He's definitely like a bulkier Starmie. We're gonna chip him down and get him about 60% now. And that's gonna bring in the Heliolisk again. So he's gonna probably Volt Switch here. But he takes poison damage, so the Starmie is about 60%. And here comes the Heliolisk. And I'm debating on sacking off Sylveon here, as much as I don't want to. I could also rest, because I can live any hit from him and get the rest off. Let's go for the rest. I think I can live any hit. He's gonna probably Volt Switch, but I could probably get the rest off here. And I'll have to figure out what to send in anyway. Those T-Spikes are definitely gonna be kind of annoying for Victini specifically. But if I can get Victini in here after this rest, or go into Uxie and maybe you turn into Victini. I 2-hit KO the Weezing at this point now, since he's a little bit weakened. So Weezing is not a switch-in anymore, and if I'm concerned about the Weezing, I can actually now at this point go for like like Glaciate first to slow him down and then V-Create or something like that. So I do have a couple different options. Aggron is my answer to Garchomp though, so and Tyranitar, so I need this thing. So we have to live this hit here from this Heliolisk, but I would imagine we should be able to live it no matter what, and his Focus Blast is really his best play. Or T-Bolt. So T-Bolt has a chance to kill me actually from this range, it looks like. So he could knock us out. He's gonna go for the Volt Switch, so I should live this, assuming no crit. And I live with 21 health. He's gonna take some more Life Orb, and he's gonna go down to about 50%. And we see the Volt Switch, and I'm gonna be able to get this free rest off here. I'm expecting him to potentially predict my Dragon Tail again or something, so he might just go back into Weezing. He's gonna go on Blizz Cliz, which is his Weezing again, so that's actually best case scenario, because now I get to go into my Uxie, and I could potentially go for a, you know, a Heal Bell. So we're gonna get this Mega Aggron all the way back to full here. Now, there's a potential he goes for the Pain Split here, or the Sludge Bomb, or the Will-O-Wisp. Any of those are potential moves. I really like going into the potential Sylveon here, because then I kind of get that free switch and I want later. Because if he predicts it and goes into T-Tar, I'm in a little bit of a trouble. And honestly, like, he's not gonna Pain Split here. He probably won't Sludge Bomb. He might Willow. I'm gonna go into Sylveon here, because I can kind of pressure him with Hyper Voice if he stays in. And I haven't seen his final move yet, which I'm assuming is Sludge Bomb for Sylveon, but I should also outspeed him because I have a decent amount of speed investment, and I can go for a Hyper Voice, which won't kill, but it'll put him in kill range for Victini, which is what we want. And then something in his team dies to Victini at that point if that works out. And then Megatron's at full, and I can get Uxie in later to Heal Bell against the T-Tar or the Garchomp, because Uxie can heal against the Garchomp. I have to be careful because of Garchomp. He's gonna switch, so he's gonna go into what? T-Tar? He went to T-Tar, didn't he? Okay, so that's good. So if he's not offensive T-Tar, we're gonna be able to get off a Hyper Voice, I think. It's gonna be close because we're gonna deal with sand damage and toxic damage here. So it's gonna be close whether or not we're gonna be able to actually live both. I don't know. We're gonna certainly find out here in a second. Can we live the toxic and the sand? I'm gonna say probably not, actually. That's gonna bring us down to 24. We might. Is that enough? Are we gonna live it? Oh, I think that was exactly the amount of HP. I think we needed one more point of HP to live that there. That's brutal. So Sylveon dies to toxic, spikes damage, and now I lose that bit of offense that I wanted before. So I have a couple different options. One of those options is to go into Victini and click Brick Break and hope this thing is not Chople. That's one option. I think that's my only option. The other idea would be to go into... see, Brick Break doesn't kill him, and I think I still need Victini. Victini needs to be the Pokemon to beat the Weezing, because what beats Weezing otherwise? Cerebro can't beat it. Megatron can beat it, but I have to get the Heal Bell off. And if I go in right now and I Heal Bell with Cerebro, do I just lose the game there, or no? I think that's my plays. I gotta go to Cerebro. I gotta Heal Bell off, because we're not winning this match without Aggron, guys. I think that's what I have to do. I have to do this play. And I might be able to get some insight on this Tyranitar here as well, to kind of determine what set he is. I'm gonna go for the Heal Bell here, to heal up our Aggron and get that rest or the sleep taken off of him. And we're gonna see what he's gonna do here. He might predict some sort of HP fighting. I mean, my play here is I'm gonna Heal Bell and then I'm gonna U-turn out. And I should outspeed T-Tar unless he's like speed invested, and I'll find out in a minute, because I actually have enough speed to outspeed max speed T-Tar. So if he's scarfed or something like that, I'll find out. So I am faster, so we get the Heal Bell off. That's gonna get rid of the sleep on our Aggron. And I want to find out what kind of T-Tar this is. He's gonna go for the Stealth Rock, so he gets his rocks up here. So good play on his part. He shows off the Stealth Rock, so at least I know he's probably gonna be bulky. So his T-Tar has Stealth Rocks. And I have my lefties here. So I'm thinking about trading Stealth Rocks here at this point in the match, as it will potentially wear down that Weezing a little bit. It'll wear down the Starmie, force him to spin later. It'll weaken the Heliolisk. I'm gonna trade Stealth Rocks with him here. He's gonna hit us with a big move, probably Payback or Pursuit. He does show the Pursuit here. I can easily live that. You see how little that does to us because I think he's offensive, or defensive, I mean. Let me just take a look at this T-Tar here. Pursuit, that's a bulky T-Tar. My U-turn does about 20%, and then Victini will be close to knocking it out afterwards. But because I'm faster, now I'll take the Pursuit though, so it's okay. It's cool. I don't mind if I take the Pursuit here. I can go into Aggron too and Iron Head, which could potentially do some damage, or I can Dragon Tail. I can start Dragon Tailing him around here because I can live some hits now. I think U-turn's my play anyway, regardless. So he could Pursuit here. He might very well Pursuit here, but U-turn was my play. We'll see if he went for the Pursuit again. I got the crit, really kind of irrelevant. There's the Pursuit. It's gonna do a lot of damage. It's gonna do about 50%, but it puts us in a decent spot where we can go into something else now and potentially knock him out. So based on that U-turn damage, we did get a crit. Do I think Victini can knock him out from this range? Let me take a look. So the U-turn damage should have done 17 to 21%. He's physically defensive because if it was 17, it did about 20%. So I do think he's physically defensive, this guy here. So I'm thinking I go into Aggron instead of Victini. But the problem is Aggron is the only way I beat Garchomp. I could go into Shell Shocked as well and fire off a Scald. Potentially burn it, making this T-Tar useless. But then I lose another switch into the Heliolisk later, because Heliolisk can only attack me. And I lose another response to Starmie. I think Aggron is probably my best play, because this thing, even with like Earthquake, is not really going to do much to Aggron, I don't think. He's definitely defensive though. Definitely defensive, probably physically defensive. And actually Iron Head really doesn't do much to him anyway. Oh, I'm not burned anymore though. Okay, so Iron Head's a 2 KO. And I could definitely take any hit from him. I gotta keep an eye on the timer. Yeah, I could definitely take any hit from him. So I think our play is to go into Aggron here. I'll take the Stealth Rocks damage, but I could do one of two things here. I can Iron Head. Starmie doesn't want to come in and take an Iron Head. Not at this range, not with the rocks up. Because my notes say Starmie's at about, what is Starmie at? Starmie's at about, it's weakened, 60%. How much does Starmie take from this hit? Because I'm thinking about going for the Dragon Tail. He might expect the Dragon Tail, actually. Starmie takes about 20% from Iron Head. We could potentially wear it down. I'm going to go for the Iron Head here. I don't want to over-predict. The switch is possible. It is very, very likely. I didn't want to go for the Dragon Tail. He's going to go to Blizz Cliz, which is what, his Weezing? Yeah, so the Weezing comes back out. I probably should have made a bold prediction there, but we didn't want to go for it yet. I'm going to get the Iron Head off here. Probably not going to do too much to a Weezing. Was that a crit? No, that just did a good amount. That actually did a decent amount. He gets his Black Sludge back. And this is a pretty straightforward switch for me into Cerebro. Might be a bit predictable, but it's the right play. He might go for a Pain Split here, which could actually not be a bad thing for me. He might just go for a Sludge Bomb as well. He's going over the Will-O-Wisp, pretty standard. I could fire off a Psychic here or a U-turn, one of the two. Because I'm going to live this hit here. Now, Uxie versus Weezing. It would say he's physically defensive, because I believe he is. Psychic actually does kill him from here. The problem is if T-Tar comes back in, then I'm a little bit more in trouble. But I do think my proper play here is actually to go for the Psychic. Even though the T-Tar switching is very, very likely, I think I have to go for the Psychic, because I really got to wear this thing down. I can't risk him. No, he's not going to stay in, is he? Let me think here. Is it worth... I mean, the T-Tar switching is so incredibly obvious, but I need to get this Weezing lower so that way Victini can kill it, because otherwise I don't really have an answer to kill this thing. Scald from Blastoise, I could burn it, but it's going to be very, very tough for me to beat this Weezing here. So I have to go for the Psychic, I think. But I think my Psychic is so obvious that the T-Tar's coming in. I have to go for Psychic, guys. He's going to go into T-Tar, but I have to go for Psychic. It's really the only play, because if I don't get rid of this Weezing, I can't beat him. I have to, he's going to switch, yeah. I knew the switch was coming, guys. It's one of those situations where I had to make the switch. In comes Starmie, which is gonna, had I went for U-turn, would have been the right play there. But again, it's one of those situations I couldn't make a prediction there. There was nothing for me to predict. I had to make the play I made, in my opinion. I could potentially live a rapid spin here and U-turn, which could be kind of cool with the leftovers. Or yeah, and U-turn. I might be able to U-turn here and save this for death fodder. He might just go for the Scald and knock us out, which puts him in revenge kill range. Yeah, I'm starting to think this match is gonna be very tough for us to win here, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna try to win, obviously, but it's gonna be very, very tough to break down the rest of his walls, especially with him having recover here. He could just recover up on me, and Aggron doesn't have the right moveset to take down Starmie, and without Jolteon, I can't beat Starmie. He's gonna go for the Skull and just knock out Uxie. So Starmie kills Uxie with Scald. I don't think Victini lives a hit from this thing. I don't. Especially after rocks. Blastoise can come in and rapid spin, get rid of the hazards, and give Victini a better shot at living. I think that's what I have to do here. He might be too scared to go for the offensive move, because I can live a Scald with Victini. I'm confident in that. This is not a fully offensive Starmie. He's like a bulky Starmie. I could. Oh, I can't live a Scald. I was kidding. Yeah, that was my plan. So, my play here is a Rapid Spin, man. I have to Rapid Spin. I have to get these hazards off the field. I gotta get the Toxic Spikes off. He's gonna Rapid Spin himself. He's gonna get rid of the rocks himself. It was really my only play. I had to get rid of him too. So basically, what I need to do, guys, is I need to go into Victini here. And I need Victini to not die to this Scald somehow. I'm a negative nature on Victini, so that's going to be very tough. Blastoise is essentially useless, but I have to predict his recover here and go into Victini. And if I make that prediction wrong, we lose anyway. So guys, I just have to be honest with you. I understand that this is a very, very dumb prediction here, but it's the only play I can make to get back into this game. I need to be able to get a Bolt Strike off and hit something really hard, and I gotta be able to somehow live a Scald. But I think Fizz is gonna probably walk away with this one, guys. He's really good. I said at the beginning of the season, man, this league is the toughest league on YouTube. There's no doubt about it. The competition is insane, and when you have guys like Fizz who are just very, very good at this game, drafted a great team, knows how to team build and prepare. You know, he just knows what he's doing, man. The guy's a really good player. So we had some really cool ideas. It stinks. It really stinks that we were like 1 or 2 HP from killing that Starmie. That's my own fault for. I guess I don't know if that's my own fault, really. I don't know what I could have done, man. I ran all the calcs, but that he is gonna go for the recover here. I don't think I live a Scald though, not from a Starmie, not at this range. But I gotta try it. I am max speed, but he's gonna outspeed us regardless if he has speed investment. I'm sure he's going to be able to outspeed us here. I am negative defense nature. I have to go for the Bolt Strike and hope that for some reason I live a Scald. But I do think that his Starmie is actually going to pick up the last couple kills here. I mean, Aggron can come in, but I can't beat recover Starmie at this point. So normally at this point in the match, like if you were playing chess, guys, well, I'll wait and see what happens with Victini. But normally you would run, but I will not do that. I'll stay in. But if this Scald kills me, then the game's over. Oh, we lived it! Wow, Victini, you're gonna make this differential a little bit better, buddy. Thank you for that. We're actually negative defense nature too. We're gonna destroy that thing. So Victini kills Starmie with Bolt Strike. The big I have nothing to kill the I have nothing to kill the Weezing, man. That's the problem. I can't beat the Weezing right now. But at least I got rid of the Starmie, so that's another problem down. So now it's got Garchomp. Here comes Nuh, which is his T-Tar. I gotta go for Brick Break here and hope it's enough. That's all I can do. He's gonna get the Sandstream up. He easily could just swap into Garchomp here, but I think this is my only play, is just to go for the Brick Break and hope it can kill. He might think I'm locked into it. There's the Choppleberry. I thought so. Good play, Fizz. I knew that was coming. This Brick Break won't do enough to knock him out. We're gonna get him down to half. I saw the Choppleberry coming a mile away. There's the Pursuit. So T-Tar kills Victini with Pursuit. Saw that one coming, but there was nothing I could do about that one. AGG-Ron comes in here, but the problem is I have nothing to beat the Weezing, man. I don't think I could beat the Weezing. I'll try. We'll see what happens, man. Maybe I could beat the Weezing. Maybe we'll outspeed him. I don't think so, but I'm gonna go for the Iron Head here, and hopefully try to catch something off guard. He's probably just gonna go into the Weezing. Probably should have went for Dragon Tail, but that's okay. If Blastoise can Scald and burn the Weezing, we have a chance. But like Aggron can beat T-Tar, it can beat Garchomp, it can beat Heliolisk. It can't beat Weezing though. There's just nothing on it that can beat it. But based on where Weezing is, Iron Head plus Sandstorm plus Iron Head again might knock out the Weezing if he goes for Willow. I'm not gonna forfeit the game. I'm gonna play out the game for the differential. It's definitely an uphill climb for us here to try to come back. But if I can get this differential a little closer here, we'll see what this Weezing's gonna do. He doesn't have the rocks in the field anymore. So in comes Blizzcliz, which is I'm assuming the Weezing. So after Sandstorm plus Iron Head, it's close, man, with the Black Sludge. I don't think the Iron Head's gonna be enough here, and I don't have any speed investment, so he will outspeed us naturally. But I have to hope that he misses Will-O-Wisp is the play, or I just make the play into Blastoise here and hope he goes for the, I gotta go into Blastoise here. And hope he goes for either the Pain Split or the Will-O-Wisp, because I could easily take the Will-O-Wisp and then I get a free Scald off on something. So I'm gonna make that play. Let's go into Blastoise and try to get this Scald off on this thing. So if he goes for Pain Split, that actually gets my Blastoise back health. Unfortunately, we're poisoned, but he goes for the Will-O-Wisp, that's fine. Blastoise does naturally outspeed Weezing, so I get to go for Scald here, and this is a Torrent boosted Scald, so it's gonna do a lot to something. The problem is, if his Heliolisk is Dry Skin, it's gonna be a problem, but I don't think he's Dry Skin, I think he's probably Solar Power. I don't think we live another hit here, so my play is to go for the Scald, and hope that we can knock this Weezing out or something out. Maybe the Heliolisk. But I gotta go for the Scald here. It'll beat the T. He's gonna switch out. I'll actually knock out the T-Tar here if I get the Scald off. If he's Heliolisk with Dry Skin, then I can't do anything. But this actually probably will knock out the T-Tar. It's gonna be close. But even though he's got the special defense boost, this is a Torrent boosted Scald, so this could kill him. Not positive. It doesn't. Get the burn. Yeah, we got the burn. Blastoise, you legend. Oh, live that. I'm gonna die to poison anyway, but it's okay. Blastoise dies to poison. And T-Tar dies to Scald Burn. So, from Blastoise. So we're gonna bring this back. We're bringing it back. We're bringing it back. Megatron. Megatron. If there was ever a time, Megatron, where I needed you, it is now, my friend. Megatron, this is your time. This is the day. This is the day that you make your dreams come true, my friend. We need to beat this Weezing right now. We need him to miss Will-O-Wisp. Miss that Will-O-Wisp, Weezing. He's gonna go for Pain Split. He's gonna get all that health back. That's not gonna help us very much. He is fast. Oh my god, he just took all of our health, guys. He just took so much of our health. I'm gonna have to hit him with that Iron Head here. That's not gonna do as much as I want. Sandstorm's gone. Kind of a bummer because I actually wanted the Sandstorm. I don't think I beat the Weezing, guys. I don't think I can. But what I can do is I can go for the rest now. He's gonna Willow. I'll rest. He goes into Chomp, maybe. Maybe I can bait the Chomp in here. Well, if I just rest, he's gonna end up getting all that health back anyway. Do I dare Dragon Tail to try to switch him out into something to help with the differential? Or do I rest up on the Weezing? Resting on the Weezing just means he Pain Splits. I think I'm gonna rest. I wish I was fast in the Weezing. If I speed crept the Weezing, I could Iron Hand flinch him, but if he Willows here, I'm trying to think of how I can get around this situation. I mean, it's Aggron versus this guy, so I think I gotta Dragon Tail him out. I think I have to, if I rest, he just switches into Garchomp and wins. I have to Dragon Tail and just hope for some nuts crits, basically. Yeah, I'm gonna just go for the Dragon Tail. He's just gonna be able to Willow. He does hit it, which pretty much seals the game here, unless I get some like crazy critical hits. Gonna have to go on like a crit spree here. Hit the Dragon Tail, it's gonna wear him down a little bit. I was just hoping to maybe pick up another kill here for the differential. Here comes the Heliolisk. I might be able to knock this thing out. Maybe he's gonna take the poison. He's got Life Orb. I don't think so. I think I have to go for rest. As much as that kills me, as much as I want to just get a kill on this Heliolisk, I have to go for the rest. If I want any chance to win this game. So the difference of a 3-0 and a 2-0, I'm not gonna stress about that. I want to see if I can win. He's gonna Focus Blast. He is gonna hit it. It's probably gonna knock us out. If it doesn't, it'll be a miracle. Yeah, that's gonna be a game. Good job, Fizz. Seriously, good game, man. Heliolisk, he connects the Focus Blast, of course. Heliolisk kills Aggron with Focus Blast. And Fizz is going to take the 3-0 from us, guys. We were able to pull it back a little bit closer, which was nice, but I just didn't have enough responses for the Starmie after that Mirror Coat didn't work. And, you know, we were able to take down a lot of things. The Sylveon was really good, but I probably should have saved the Jolteon maybe a little bit. But really, I feel like I prepped properly. I feel like I played well. He just played better, man. He had the Chobo Berry T-Tar. Like, there was not... I don't know. I don't want to say this and sound like a jerk. There was nothing that I took away from this battle that made me feel like I played poorly. I felt like I played on Fizz's level. Like, yes, he won, but I felt like I could match up with him, and I really do hope we get a chance to match up again in the playoffs. I think both him and I would very much so look forward to that. So, guys, please go check out his channel. He's a really, really good battler, as you could tell. He's going to move to 9-1. We're going to move to 6-4. Still in the playoff race, but it's definitely getting a little bit tighter than I would like. But that'll be that, guys. So thank you so much for supporting the Rampardos and the, you know, the aDrive Army, baby. Show your love on that like button down below. Let me know your question of the day answer, and I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Peace.